Hello and welcome to the Holly Meredith Show, and we're off and running. Today is Sunday, the 15th of June. We've had Flag Day yesterday that nobody paid any attention to. Did you see any flags out hanging around anywhere? Because I didn't. There was some kind of a somewhat half-assed ceremony regarding Flag Day yesterday when we had a group of people from the Army singing. However, you would have sworn it was a Louis Armstrong performance, and nowhere did the word flag come into it either. Now it's Sunday the 15th of June, and where is Dear Tyrant? Yes, Tyrant, you know who that is. That's the person running our country into the ground. Him, that tyrant. He who thinks he knows better than anybody else about just about everything. Here we are in 2014 on June 15th. Mark that date down because our country is self-destructing. We are committing suicide. Today, just to give you a little hint, we have been invaded. Our country is invaded. Are you ready for about 75,000 people a day crossing into Texas and Arizona every day? That's right now. And most of them are under the age of 18 on purpose so that they can be held in this country because they're minors, because this entire ridiculous, joking situation is because Tyrant Obama could not get his amnesty through Congress because the people of America don't want it. There are no jobs in this country. We have almost 95 million people who want to work who don't have any jobs. So let's try to think our way through this. Does it make sense to have another 11 to 18 million people and their families, meaning their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their brothers, their ex-wives, their fathers, their mothers, whatever, all of whom will be allowed to come at the same time? Oh my God. And don't forget his stupid amnesty plan paid employers $3,000 of your money, of taxpayer money, if they would hire the illegal alien over you. So since you aren't completely stupid yet, you didn't want an amnesty. So now he's just done it de facto. He is just letting these people come. He has told the border control they are not allowed to talk to the media. Tyrant, dictator, he has no right to tell people that they can't talk to the media. But if they talk to the media, they will lose their job and their pension and probably will be under fire as some kind of a criminal problem, even though Tyrant Obama commits treason against the country of America every time he opens his mouth. So we are being invaded from the south, and oh, by the way, they're not just little children. They are gang members with tattoos. We found that out before the border agents were told they can't talk about it. And they're coming into the country en masse from Central America, from Mexico, from South America, from other countries in Europe. How are they all getting here? How did they get on the buses to get dropped off? That is a question that your media should be asking the tyrant every time he deigns to speak to them. But your media loves this guy and has no intention in the world ever of saying anything about him that is not fawning flattery. I mean, after all, that's how he got here, because they didn't tell everybody in the country that he wasn't really a legal president and that all of his records were sealed so that people couldn't find out exactly how he came to be here. That's only part one of June 15th, 2014, under Tyrant Obama. Sometime in the future, these years are going to be called the reign of Tyrant Obama, because as far as he's concerned, he is a king. And we just better get in line and go along, because he has no intention whatsoever of asking Congress ever again for anything. Yesterday he made fun of Congress. Yesterday he was at a graduation ceremony in California where he actually spoke the entire graduation ceremony about climate change. Yes, climate change. When he gave his speech at West Point and was lucky to get out alive, what did he talk about at West Point? He talked about how the Army was no longer going to be important in the future. Don't you think they loved him for that one? Nobody wanted even to clap, and very few people stood up when the thing left. So yesterday we had him giving his graduation speech, saying nothing whatsoever about their futures, but only about the fact that he knows all about climate change, which is happening right now, and that Congress, that's you and I, Congress doesn't take it seriously. Congress, that's you and I, is stupid. Congress should be listening to him, because apparently Tyrant Obama thinks he really can make the oceans move. Remember when he was running for office? When he was being called the One by Oprah Winfrey and crew? And he actually said he can make the oceans move? He can make the oceans rise? Apparently in his brain, if there is one there, he truly does believe that he is in charge of our climate. That's only one part of June 15th, 2014. We are being invaded. The whole idea, and he is the one who has orchestrated it, is to break the country. If you have no borders, you have no sovereignty. If you have no sovereignty, you have no country. If this continues and is not stopped, millions of people will be on our borders in the next 3 to 5 weeks. Millions of them. Because the tyrant has made it clear that if you get here, you can stay here. And the people coming across the border right now are bringing with them very serious diseases. There is a whooping cough epidemic in California, which they richly deserve, since they are mostly responsible for the mess we find ourselves in now. That's only part of June 15th, 2014. Then we have Andrew Tomaresi, our Marine. Our poor Marine is sitting in a Mexican piss hole as I speak, 63 days after he was arrested because he took a wrong turn. He took a wrong turn leaving Mexico from a day trip, going back to San Diego on a road that confuses everybody on it, no doubt on purpose. He got arrested, he has committed no crime other than that, and he's still sitting there today. Is the tyrant making any effort to get him out? Apparently not. But the tyrant did manage yesterday to stop a strike in Philadelphia. He managed in less than 24 hours to stop the strike. So you see, the tyrant can indeed move when the tyrant is so inclined. And the tyrant obviously didn't read about it in the newspapers. Somebody actually spoke to him. Although the way he's going, it will soon be not allowed to speak to him, because he will be in his brain only, so far above the rest of us that we should be on our knees bowing to him, keeping our eyes down and kissing the hem of his robe as he passes by. Yes. And now again, another little facet you may or may not know, because your media tells you nothing. And I do mean nothing. On purpose. We also have the added spectacle of Iraq absolutely breaking apart. Iraq is splitting up into 3 divisions, Sunni, Shiite, and Kurds. I did a show on this more than a year ago where I explained Sunni, Shiite, and Kurds. These are 3 different divisions of the Muslim background. They hate each other. They have hated each other for 2,200 years. They have been beheading each other, shooting each other, slicing each other's private parts off, burying each other alive, pouring honey on each other and putting ants on top of it for 2,200 years. Do you really think because the tyrant says they should stop that they're going to stop? Oh no, they are not going to stop. In fact, they're crucifying, hanging, shooting, and beheading everybody in their path. So what are we doing? Well, the tyrant is looking at his options. He will look at his options for years and nothing will change. Because this is exactly what the tyrant wants. All of our men who died there, more than 4,500 of them, all of our men who were maimed for the rest of their lives there, also in the thousands, the trillions of dollars that American taxpayers have poured into Iraq, all for nothing as far as the tyrant is concerned, because he wants to be out of the country, because he wants to tell donors that he did what they elected him to do, which was stop all the wars. And that's why he's doing this. That's why he let the 5 thugs from Guantanamo go without even mentioning it to Congress, by the way, if you didn't know that, which you don't, because nobody in your media is going to tell you. When he released all 5 of those men, they were already in Qatar before he bothered to notify Congress, even though there's a law that he had signed himself into law that says Congress has to be notified 30 days ahead of any transfer. Hey, he's the tyrant. He doesn't have to pay any attention, and he doesn't. And he doesn't. And why does he not pay any attention? Well, I'll tell you why. If you haven't figured it out yet, again, it's because everyone in our Congress is petrified to do what needs to be done. The tyrant breaks our Constitution every day flagrantly and laughs in your face. America is who he laughs in the face of. Every single day, every word that falls out of his mouth is a lie. A lie dedicated to the proposition of destroying this country. The tyrant has a father, believe it or not, Barack Hussein Obama Sr. He is living the dreams of his father. If you read that wretched book that he did not write, Bill Ayers wrote it. He just stuck his name on it. But if you read that book, you will see that everything in that book, the dreams of his father, were nightmares of America. And that is what he's doing to us. He is intent, he is determined, and we are not stopping him, to reduce this country to the same level as Kenya. Do you really want to be on the same level as Kenya? Even the Kenyans don't want to be on the same level as Kenya. Please, I say this to you in all honesty, and I say this to you sincerely. The man is guilty of stand in front of a firing squad treason. Many, many, many times over. Much more guilty than Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. I mean, let's face it, all they did was sell the atom bomb secrets to Russia for money. Was that a bad thing to do? For sure, but they are what they are. That's all they did. This guy, again, every single day, every single way, every time he opens his revolting mouth and spews forth the filth that he says about us and our country, he is committing treason. And yesterday, the IRS says to Congress, that's you and I again, that Lois Lerner's emails have been lost. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, ready to laugh now? That they don't have Lois Lerner's emails. They've been asked for them since 2011. They've told Congress many, many times they were going to give them to them, but yesterday they don't have them. That her computer crashed. Newsflash! One of the main tenets of being an employee for the IRS in their manual clearly says that everything that goes out of the office or any place else on an email from any employee of the IRS must have a hard copy backup. So let's get serious here again. Those emails didn't disappear. They simply are not going to give them to you, and you are Congress. Do you really believe at this point in time that anything is going to happen to Lois Lerner? Because it isn't. Do you believe there is ever going to be a pathway to prove that the White House is responsible for targeting conservatives? Because it is, and it was, and it did. You're never going to see that. Never. This is June 15th, 2014. Mark that down in the annals of history, because you should start keeping your own notes about the history of America as we slowly crumble into the dust of the ages, because that is what the tyrant is doing to us on purpose. lest you think it's a mistake or he's just incredibly stupid. None of the above. He is doing exactly what he said he was going to do when he said he was going to transform America, and he's hewing to the pathway of destruction by overwhelming the country with people from other countries that we are taking care of. He just asked for $2 billion from you to take care of all of these people, and that's just the beginning. What are you going to do when you have millions of them on your border? What's the cutoff line? If they're over 18, if they're male, if they're female, if they come from Mexico, if they come from Bosnia, where's the cutoff line? He doesn't have one. And going back to Iraq, this is so important, so scary, so frightening, so sad. The real result that's going to affect you, whether you pay any attention or not, is at the gas pump. The price of oil is already up dramatically, and by the time Baghdad falls, which looks like it's about 48 hours away, by the time Baghdad falls, you're going to be looking at gasoline prices of $8, $9, and $10 a gallon. Think that affects you now? I guarantee you it's going to affect you a whole lot, because it's not just going to be gasoline for your car, it's going to be the price of your groceries in the store, it's going to be what you have to pay for your electric bill, it's going to be everything. Not to mention the fact that for the first time in 2,200 years, there will be an Islamist militant caliphate. And if you don't know what that is, allow me to elucidate. Good word. A caliphate means that you are going to have in power in an enormous country with a lot of valuable resources, aka oil, a group of fanatics dedicated to overthrowing the world, perfectly happy to blow themselves up as long as they can take one of you with them, no way to deal with them at all. Those people are going to be in charge of an enormous country all by themselves for the first time in 2,200 years. Can you say beheadings on a minute-to-minute basis? Because these people do that all day long. Think about the people in England, the poor Lee Rigby guy, the soldier who was beheaded just because he was wearing a uniform by Muslim Islamist freaks. This is what's going to happen in Iraq. And oh, by the way, if that's not bad enough, which it is, by the way, Iran, yes, charming Iran, is sending soldiers and money and helpers into Iraq to help them, because Iran, run by truly lunatic people, wants to get hold of an atom bomb, which again the tyrant is helping them get. The tyrant is doing that right now. So if you can imagine Iran and Iraq combined together with Syria, which could happen, all of them being this enormous Middle Eastern Islamic militant caliphate, you should start shaking in your shoes. You should start getting down on your knees and praying to whatever you believe in, whatever that may be. And you better hope you believe in something, because you're going to need it. Because they believe in something, and nothing stops them, honey. Nothing stops them. I'm getting ready to go to my break. I had a wonderful first part of my show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed giving it to you.
Hi, good morning. I'm the owner of Chopstick Chinese Restaurant. My name is Scott Alam. I'm serving Mandarin, Sichuan, Cantonese cuisine past 18 years. I'm only the Chinese restaurant who's serving the halal food from South Florida, and then we make fish cake and everything made from scratch, and so cooks in order. So please try us, and we're in downtown, central location, and under the Dark Bay of Philly. As you can see, we have a catering tonight, 100 people. Mostly we do takeout dining, delivery and catering too. So we have price ranges start from $6 to in between $12 to $13. Try us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Goldenberg. I'm the owner of Quality Ink and Toner. We've been in business for 8 years now. We sell compatible and remanufactured toner cartridges. Specialize in offices, doctors, lawyers, insurance companies. Delivery is free if you're in Palm Beach County or Broward. If you're outside of that area, drop shifts are available. Phone number is 561-396-4700. Okay, if you call us today, you can have same-day delivery. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Welcome back to my show. This is Holly Meredith. I want to close my show today with a little bit of information about Iraq that I am positive you don't know. Part of the main reason we're in this disgusting debacle in Iraq at the moment is because Maliki, the man who runs Iraq right now, tried to make a deal with the tyrant. When we decided, or rather the tyrant decided, that he was going to pull out of Iraq, there was a chance, a brief chance at that time, to help al-Maliki do something to keep himself in power. Right now he has nobody. We have thrown him to the wolves. He cooperated with us. Yes, he did. And now that we're out of there, what's the guy to do? He can't keep backing us up because we're gone. He has no backup. He has no support. He has nothing except very angry Arabs who remember the fact that he was on our side and not theirs. What do you think their main intent in life is to do to Mr. Maliki? Well, it's to kill him. So he has to try to figure out some way to survive the day. We had an opportunity 2.5 years ago when we were pulling out our men, and dear tyrant was told by the military men, even by his own advisors, he was told not to take everybody out, to at least leave 10 to 25,000 men there to help bolster Maliki's forces because the Iraqis aren't ready to fight. They're just not. And they may never be. Keep in mind, we have soldiers in Korea, we have soldiers in Bosnia, we have soldiers all around the world. We're not in a full-fledged war with those countries, but our soldiers have been there for decades. Dear tyrant made a decision, a political decision, that was not in the best interests of the country, treason again, and certainly not in the best interests of Iraq. So when the opportunity arose and he could have signed an agreement permitting 10 to 15 to 25,000 American soldiers to remain in Iraq, which would have been a stabilizing factor, and this, what we see today, would not be happening, he said no. He said no. So you can lay the blame for everything that's happening in Iraq today, including the jump that's going to happen in your gas tank prices, squarely on dear tyrant's shoulders, because that is where it belongs. And just as another closing statement for you to be aware of, the reason he released 5 terrorists, 5 of the most violent men who were involved in all of the terrible things that happened to this country from 9/11 on, the first 9/11, he released them with no warning to Congress, with no permission from Congress, and he did it as a fait accompli. By the time he notified Congress, they were already in Qatar. Those men have nothing keeping them from being back in the battle against you and I. Again, I've only been speaking for 3 minutes, and I've given you 3 acts of treason. 3! In very little time. If you want to sit down and add them all up, your head will be spinning. There isn't another president ever that has negotiated with terrorists. This person, the tyrant in our White House, is the first president in the history of America to negotiate with terrorists. There was no reason to do that. They know where they were. They've known for 5.5 years where he was. All they had to do was send somebody to go get him. And oh, by the way, our own military didn't want to risk our men to go get this guy because he's also a traitor. Bergdahl is a deserter. He left on his own. He joined the Taliban. So our own military did not want to go and get him. They didn't want to risk their own men to go and get this guy. But the tyrant, wanting a political decision because he can't get Gitmo closed through Congress because you, the people, don't want these very dangerous men released again, did it on his own because he can move oceans. This is a person who believes he can do anything. I'm sure he thinks he can stop the moon in orbit. In his head, he believes this to be true. The destructive force that is sitting in our White House, ripping our country apart in every way, must be stopped. Must be stopped. Now, I've given you food for thought. Try to digest it. My next show, I will carry on with more information that you need to hear that you will never hear on your regular paid, bought-for, controlled media. They will never tell you the truth about this man, even as they're being dragged out of their offices by his stormtroopers. This is Holly Meredith, getting ready to close my show. I hope you enjoyed getting this information as much as I enjoyed having you get it.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ray Flo. This is my storage, Lake Worth Storage. We've been here, I guess, about 8 years. It's been great. Love Florida. Love the storage business. I was meant for this business. Come with me. We'll go inside. And here's the fantastic staff. Mr. Josh runs it. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
And the quiet one. Look here, Marge. Look this way. Look this way. There you go. All right. So, well, there is a lot to run in the storage. There is no silver bullet to make it successful. We've been very successful. So, you got to have a few things, you know. You got to have, of course, the price has got to be right. You got to have a nice staff, congenial people. We have that. Place has to be clean. We have that. And we have to treat people with dignity and very nicely, and we do that. So we've got, you know, the price, the staff. We've been here a long time. We got a good record. Above all, though, it really should be secure. And we have very little problems with that here. We're very secure. We've got 14 cameras there and some more here. So yeah, we're set for the public. We're set up. Excellent.
Hi, I'm Maria of My Clean Home Services. Been in business for 5 years now. I specialize in residential and I also do commercial. If you need any references, I can provide that for you upon request. You can give me a call at 954-520-4282 if you have any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful day.